Happy Panky. So today I'm starting out with my cup of coffee, which is normal. I always have a cup of coffee. But I just wanted to make a note here that coffee suppresses hunger. So I know if you have pancreatitis and it's flaring, you're not hungry very often. Either that or it's quite the opposite. You're starving and you're not allowed to eat. So, but when you are allowed to eat, you know, and you're not in too much pain, the hunger just isn't there. So, before I started drinking this coffee, you know, I was actually really hungry. And that's normal for me. And then I'll have my cup of coffee and it kind of goes away. So, if you are trying to gain some weight and you're constantly waiting for hunger in order to eat, I would suggest skipping coffee. If you are even able to handle it. Some people with pancreatitis can't, but I would suggest skipping it and eating as soon as you're hungry. But this is my start out, and I'll still have a breakfast probably in about a half hour to an hour. All right, I'll see you then. Okay, so I am getting hungry for breakfast, but I'm hoping to have time to work out today, so I don't want too full of a breakfast, but I do want to fill up a little bit so I have some energy. So I'm going to grab some of my cooked bananas here. So the equivalent of 1.5 medium to large bananas. And then I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed, which is going to give me some omega-3. That's about 3 grams of fat there, maybe a little bit less. I'm going to grab 2 tablespoons of hemp protein. And this shake is going to be the ugliest shake you've ever seen when I get done with it. This is the protein powder. And I like this because it really has no flavor. It's ugly, but it doesn't have flavor. And there's only one ingredient there. Raw, cold, milled organic hemp protein powder. So each tablespoon is about 1 gram of fat. So far we've got about 5 grams of fat here. And then we'll probably have 1 more gram of fat here when I add my milk. And this here is my my rice milk, my homemade rice milk. And you can, I don't know if I'll ever make a video. There's so many of them out there on how to make rice milks and oat milks. I prefer oat milk, but I usually cook a big batch of rice every week in order to just have a grain on hand. So I just make rice milk. But if I don't do the rice, then I do oat milk. I prefer oat milk. But this doesn't really, it doesn't taste the best on its own. So I'll use the store-bought milks, dairy-free milks, if I'm going to have like a glass of milk or if I'm going to have it in my cereal. But, you know, this is a less expensive way to go, and it's also a healthier way to go because there's nothing in there but rice and waters. Okay, so the store-bought ones have a lot of, like, I don't know, additives in it to make it creamier and it tastes better, so. Okay, so here you have it. This is my, it's actually a go-to shake for me. I'll have this a couple times a week. It's really good. It doesn't look so good, but it's got a really good flavor to it. And you could probably add some vanilla to it as well. That might add just a touch more flavor. Did I not put cinnamon in? I didn't put cinnamon. So besides the vanilla that is optional, the cinnamon is not optional. That's about how much cinnamon I put in. I just kind of shake it in there. Cinnamon is necessary or this is not going to taste good. So, okay, that's it. That's my breakfast before my workout. So I am going to be leaving the house today for work. Sometimes I work from home, and today I'm leaving a little bit later. So I got up early today to get, everything done. And I'm starting dinner right now, which is going to be meatloaf and potatoes for the family. And then I'll have some extra side of vegetable that I'll cook up at dinner time. But these are going to go in the crock pot. And these are just baby organic red potatoes. And I coated them in a half of tablespoon of melted butter with seasoned salt, pepper, garlic salt, or garlic powder, excuse me, and what else did I put in? Oh, parsley. So this is them. And there's probably less than a teaspoon of the coconut oil that's stuck to these. So really not that much fat. And again, you can look down at the notes below. I'll put a link as to how coconut oil affects the pancreas. Okay, so here is my prepared dinner. The potatoes are underneath here, wrapped in aluminum foil and oil, because apparently when you cook meatloaf in a crock pot, there's no water. This is my first crock pot meatloaf, so hopefully it goes well. The recipe that I followed is down below in the links. I cut it in half because I will not be eating the meatloaf today. I've cut back my meat intake and my dairy and egg and all that animal stuff drastically, just because of animal cruelty and just things that I've been seeing lately, and it's just not cool. So I have cut that back, but of course my boys still eat meat, and I can't, can't stop them from doing it, and don't want to. It's everybody's personal choice. So the meat is for them, potatoes are for me, and I'll make myself a side vegetable. The recipe that I followed, if I didn't mention it already, is down below. And if you are going to have some of the meat, I would suggest using white turkey, 99% fat-free turkey, and egg white in the recipe. And this is small because I cut it in half. So it will be larger if you follow the recipe to the T. And this right here is sirloin. So that's a low-fat beef. Typically, when I was eating meat, I allowed myself 4 ounces of sirloin, which is about 10 grams of fat with fat-free food next to it. So you can do sirloin, but turkey would be your best bet. Then you can have whatever you want on the side. So I'm going to put this in the fridge until right before I leave for work, because it's only going to be cooking for about 4 hours. So I will do that, and I will see you soon. Okay, so post-workout, this is the shake I'm going to finish my breakfast off with. I don't always do this post-workout, but I do have this every once in a while, and it rehydrates pretty well because we've got 32 ounces of water to start out with. So I figured it'd be a good finish to my breakfast after my workout here. So I start with 32 ounces of water, and I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of flaked coconut. And I treat that just like coconut oil. You can see the link below. And then I'm going to add, I don't know, about a 1.5 to 2 cups of baked and then frozen pineapple. I'm just going to add it. If I want more, then I add more, that looks about good. And then if you wanted to add a couple more calories or a little bit of sweetness, you could add a date to this as well, 1 or 2 dates, fresh with the seeds removed. But that's it. I'm going to blend this up. Okay, so this is it finished. It's kind of like a pineapple juice with some chunkage in it. It actually tastes really good. I like it, but it's watery, so you can't really think shake when you're drinking it. You're thinking juice, but it gets a lot of water into me. I've said before, I try to get at least 1 ounce per. I try to get at least 50 to 60 ounces a day into my body. I'm still at home. I'm going to be working here in a minute, but I'm working half the day from home, so this will keep me eating for the first half of the day. I might have lunch before I leave, and then if I do, I'll follow up with you. Otherwise, I'll just take this big old pitcher up to my office with me with a glass and just drink as I work. All right, I'll see you later. Okay, so I used my break to get the crock pot going and to get my lunch and snack ready for work. What I have here for my lunch is, I have brown rice in there. I made a big batch of that over the weekend, and you know, like I said, I used that to make the rice milk that I used earlier. So I have, I don't know, maybe about 1 to 2 cups of rice in there, and then I diced up a fresh tomato and put it on top. And tomatoes are one of the few fruits and vegetables that I can eat raw, so I do fit that in a couple times a week. So there's my diced tomato, and then I just topped it with this homemade Italian dressing. It's so delicious. It's not my recipe. I'm gonna put a link to the recipe down below. And basically 1 tablespoon is 2 grams of fat, so I added 2 tablespoons to my salad here. And I just want to make note that if you're gonna make it, the recipe calls for, I believe, red wine vinegar and Dijon mustard, both of which contain alcohol. So I replaced the vinegar with just white vinegar because that's what I had, and I replaced the Dijon with regular mustard, and it's still delicious. Really good stuff. And then I have my oatmeal protein bites as a snack. And I'll have the link down below. I make a bunch of these, and if you look close enough, you might see some ice in there, because I make the whole recipe and then I freeze them for when I need them. So I pulled out, I don't know, 5 today, and that'll take care of one of my snacks. All right, I'm only going to be there for about 2 to 4 hours tops, so this should hold me over pretty well. Okay, so I also grabbed a bag of popcorn. I popped some popcorn the other day, and I saved some, so why not, right? If I'm hungry, I'll eat it. If not, I'll just eat it later or another day. Okay, so this is my dinner. The potatoes turned out good. The meatloaf turned out firm like a meatloaf, but the flavor wasn't there according to my family. So what I did here was I had some leftover bean chili from the other day, and I put some potatoes down there, smashed them open, and poured some chili on top. And this is actually what I do when I'm out and I go to Wendy's drive-through. If I ever need to eat when I'm on the run, I'll order their baked potato and put some chili on top, and works out as a good meal. So on top of this, I'm just going to add some nutritional yeast for some cheese flavor and some vitamin B12, and that's it. So this is the end of the night dessert for me, I guess you can say. I made ice cream out of 1 frozen banana that was cooked first and then frozen. I blended it in a normal blender with 1 tablespoon plus 1 teaspoon of cocoa powder and 2 tablespoons of almond milk and 2 soaked dates, and came up with this. And I sprinkled it with a couple cacao nibs just to add a little bit of crunch.